Hello and welcome to The Steerage by Alfred Steiglitz, 1907. We're going to be using this photograph to start talking about visual literacy. This composition is a very complex and layered slice of time. There are significant elements and principles of design within the frame. Think Henri Cartier-Bresson's decisive moment, the magical instant when the world fell away into apparent order and meaning. Composition is the building block of the image. It is how the subject matter is organized in the frame, and you can talk about the composition using the elements and principles of design, such as line, shape, and balance. Why is the frame so important? It's what is on the edges of the photograph. What makes the edges? What does the frame include, and what does the frame exclude? So let's use this photograph to discuss the elements of design and the movement of the eye around the image. Let's start with line. A line is a mark between two dots. They can be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, straight, or curved. Here you can see with the blue line that the eye travels up that strong diagonal and then bounces off the highlights in the top pier, down the ladder, into steerage. Form is how three-dimensional space is transcribed into a two-dimensional photograph. And in this example, form is very important because it controls how the eye moves throughout the photograph. The way that subjects connect to each other in a photograph forms shapes that draw the eye from subject to subject. In this case, lines are geometric, abstract, and organic, and are used to create a very tight composition. Cropping can be done with either the entire composition or by obstructing the subject with other elements of the composition. It controls what you want the viewer to see. The use of focus or blur is a characteristic of the medium that can be used to great effect to create emphasis, as is lighting, which can bring focal point to a subject that's brightly lit and less attention to subjects that are over and underlit. Continuing from form, let's talk about space, the area between and around objects. This photograph has a strong sense of flatness, two-dimensional space, created by how the elements of design are framed. There's a limited depth of field, and the viewer can only see the activity on the boat, not the environment. And lastly, let's talk about vantage point, where the camera was pointed when the image was created. Where did the photographers stand, and what did they want to say by either looking up at the subject or looking down? In this case, it strongly influenced how the subject is considered. People on the top tier are almost at eye level, while the camera looks down on the people below. One more thought about framing, the rule of thirds. This is the theory that breaks down an image into a 3x3 grid with 4 intersecting points. In these points, you can put areas of interest. But this is one rule I really like to break. I hope you enjoyed the video and that it gets you started on your final. It was brought to you by Walter Snaggletooth Hill, champion of breakfast, lunch, and dinner.